Alright guys, welcome back to another video. I am Lee, this is Evil GT, this is my Audi E-Tron that you guys have said, what do you think about it? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Well, there's some things I dislike about it, but there's some things I love about it. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you. This is a Navara Blue E-Tron. I paid £63,000 for it about 4 months ago. I did get it from Manchester Audi, so if you're looking for a good Audi deal, go and see Mike. He probably won't sell you the car because he's the general manager there. He is the general manager.
General sales manager.
That's the one, so you probably won't see him. But anyway, go to Manchester Audi, they'll do you a good deal. So this is an S-Line, black edition, 50 model, which means it's got a 71 kilowatt hour battery, and it's the equivalent of about 313 horsepower, 540 newton meters of torque. This is a fully electric car, which looking at it, you wouldn't actually think that that was so, because some of the cars out there, some of the electric cars look that futuristic. You can see it's like, yeah, that's an electric car. And that is one thing I do like about it. It looks like a normal car, a normal SUV, a normal Audi really. As this is the black edition, there's black everywhere on the back there, the window surrounds, a little bit of black in the wheels, door mirrors are black, the top parts, and the biggest part for me is the front end's black. That would look horrible silver. So yeah, looks good, doesn't it? That fake grille. To me, it looks around the size of a Q5. Obviously it's a different chassis because it's electric, all the batteries are underneath. You can get this in the Sportback, which to me, I think it sort of like defeats the objects of having this car because you want the space at the back. It's like, you know, it's a big SUV. Everybody knows electric car wheels are horrible, but look at these, 21 inch, 265, 45, 21s. They are actually not too bad for an electric car wheel. You do smaller wheels on the lower spec, and I just don't think the car would look good with anything smaller than 21s. What I opted for on this car was normal door mirrors, because they do like a virtual one where there's a camera in the door mirror. There's one thing that Ben knows, who's holding the camera, annoys me with Audis: electronic door handles. I just don't like them. Electric cars are really heavy, so you would expect them to have massive brakes. Now the brakes on this do look pretty big, and there's a thing with the brakes that I'll get to later when we take it out for a test drive. As with all SUVs, they usually have a pretty big boot. This one's no exception, although it's not overly massive. Obviously you can see that there, and there's even a little bit more storage under there. There's another thing you seem to get with a few cars, like a fake exhaust on an electric car. It's not required. This hasn't got them, and it looks much better. So obviously with a normal car and a normal engine in the front, you don't get any more storage, but on this you do. There's not much, but better than nothing. And even though this is a little bit of extra storage, it's only ever been used for the cables. There's nothing really I can go over the top saying about this interior. It's just a nice interior. Nice leather seats with the S in the back. With it being an Audi, there's loads of piano black, which I actually like. No carbon fibre anywhere to be seen. A little bit of Alcantara in the doors and a little bit of aluminium across the top there, which is nice. Obviously the E-Tron badge there. Yeah, it's just a nice Audi interior. Flat bottom steering wheel. For me, it actually helps because if you're a little bit taller, just easier to get your legs under. Virtual cockpit and the usual infotainment system. You've got a little sort of like handrest there, which helps you select the gears. And it's got the usual connections, 12 volt, USB-C, wireless charging. The door cards, usually these are a little bit plasticky, but these are quite spongy, so they actually feel a little bit more premium. So anybody interested in how much room is in the back? I'm 6'2". The seat here in front, the driver's seat, is actually set to my settings basically. My knees are pretty close to there, but I wouldn't like to go on a long journey in this position. The good thing about the E-Tron is you can charge it from both sides, which might not seem a lot, but it is really handy. The problem we've got at the moment is we're running off a normal 3-pin plug, which is only giving us 3.6 kilowatts an hour. And the reason we're still off a 3-pin plug is because the pod point hasn't been installed yet. An off-peak electric car tariff isn't really the best, purely because we can only charge between 12 and 5 in the morning, which is 5 hours, which is getting about 18 kilowatts in, which is not really much of a 71 kilowatt hour battery. You tend to be paying about 40 pence to charge the car up per hour. Let's go out and see what I think about the drive, because after 4 months, there's certain stuff I do like and there's certain stuff I don't like. Car, I always thought, yeah, it's going to be dead boring, but in reality, they are quite fun to drive. The car is really heavy, so don't think 313 horsepower is going to get you anything spectacular, because it's not. Obviously, it's instant power. You put your foot down and it does throw you back. But apart from that initial shunt that you get when you first put your foot down, it just runs out. But it really does help if you want to overtake someone. You don't have to think about the gears in a normal car where you'd be like, okay, so I'll drop down to second. This, if you see a gap, you're gone. But I find myself, really, I don't drive this in sport. I don't drive it in dynamic. It's just usually in drive and auto, and I feel like it just gives you what you need. I don't really notice the difference between sport and just a normal drive. There's little things that annoy me, like the lane assist. You cannot turn that off from the infotainment system. You have to keep pressing that button. It's not the end of the world, but it is quite annoying, and even after 4 months I still forget to turn it off, because if you go anywhere near the middle lane and it just pulls you back in, which I suppose from a safety point of view is good, but if you really need that, I don't know, should you be on the road if you're not concentrating? So there's one thing you do notice straight away when you get into an electric car, is how heavy it is. So I don't actually know the weight of this, but it's going to be over 2 tons surely, and the brakes really do make you realise how heavy it is, because when you come to stop, the car rocks back and two because there's that much weight in it. But because this is an electric car, you shouldn't really be using the brakes as you would do in a normal car, because you're wasting energy really. Because if you have the regen braking on, so you can either set the regen braking through the infotainment system, or you can do it just off the paddle. So if you click once, that gives you a small amount of motor braking, which will regen the battery. So it does actually put power back into the, well, it gives you range back. And then if you press it twice, that's even more. I'm going downhill now, and you can feel the car sort of like lagging. That takes a little bit of getting used to. I would say you probably have to be driving it for about a week to sort of like remember to do it, because automatically you just go for the foot pedal to brake the car. You have to sort of like guess when you're going to need to stop. So I'm coming up to a roundabout, the car is regenning now, just off its own power. It's starting to come to a stop too quick, so I need a little bit more power. But I'm actually going to do another video another day on the actual range, and when the car gets down to 0, does it actually mean 0? When will it run out? How many miles can you get back in the car? So when you buy an electric car, you get the range, and they'll say this, for argument's sake, with it being the 71 kilowatt battery, you get for 215 miles. But 215 miles is not 215 miles. In reality, it's about 175. So when we picked it up, it actually said 215 on the dash because it was fully charged. We have never been able to get it back to 215 on the dash since we've had it. So the most it will charge up to and give you the range is about 175. But that's been going gradually down as we've been using it. So when we fully charge it now, it probably goes in at, I don't know, fully charged 155, 160, which isn't 215. So I was told you're driving it the wrong way. You need to drive it better. Use the regen braking. So I started doing that, and I've really made sure I use the brake as little as possible. Just use the paddles, and I still cannot get the gauge to go up more than 160. So I don't know what's going on with that. So because of the electricity cost at the moment, you know, charging this car, I can be paying up to 40 pence a kilowatt hour. So if we end up charging the whole car up at 40 pence, that's £28 for 160 miles on a good day. So is that cheaper than 160 miles in a normal car or a diesel, anything like that? Who knows? But if I was to take advantage of a faster charger and get the car charged up all the time on 10 pence a kilowatt hour, then obviously £7 to fill the car up to do 160 miles is well cheap. And that's where the problem lies. You can't get enough charge in the battery quick enough to use the car every day at its full capacity. So what you would need to do is find a 50 kilowatt charger. That is the only way you're going to get all the power back in the battery to use it the full 150 miles a day. And that's because the infrastructure for electric car charging, I just don't think is there yet. As much as I love this car, love driving it, there needs to be more charging points and more high-powered charging points, because you go to a lot of charging points are only 7 kilowatts. So if you was to park up, it would take you 10 hours to fully charge the battery up again, which is obviously not, you know, it's just not an option. If you're doing a long trip, you don't mind waiting an hour on a 50 kilowatt charger, and that's fine. But the problem is there's not as many 50 kilowatt chargers out there as 7 kilowatts, and the amount of 7 kilowatt chargers we've been to, some of them don't even work. But there are other benefits to driving an electric car. This is actually a company car. There's relatively no company car tax. The only thing that lets electric cars down is charging them up. I'd just rather go to a petrol station, whereas you can't do that in an electric car. So that brings me on to, why do I actually want to sell this car if I love it that much? I mean, it's fast. It's got 313 horsepower, which is 310 more horses than these three behind me. It's really cheap to run. I mean, £7 for 160 miles if you can charge it at that rate. Only yesterday, the battery went down to about 5 miles left, and that was because we were just out all day, didn't get a chance to charge it up. But that's where the problem lies. It's just, for me or my wife, not a really practical car. There's just not enough places to charge it and charge it up quick. So that is the reason for getting rid of the E-Tron. It's just the charging side of it. Just can't charge it up quick enough and easily enough, you know, out and about. We need to go back to a normal petrol car or a diesel, but I'm going to let you know in the next video what my wife has chosen to go back to, and it is a car she's had before, and no, it's not the RS6. So when we can actually charge these cars up quicker and easier, then I probably will go back to an electric car at some point. So unfortunately, the E-Tron has to go. So thanks for watching. See you next time. See you on the next video. Please consider subscribing, liking the video, all that kind of stuff. Comment on this video as well. What did you think about it? Am I right? Am I wrong? Anything like that. Just do it. See you in a bit.